Good evening and welcome to the latest edition of Rangers Women's Supporters Group podcast. A bit light in numbers this week with other commitments taking over for Laura and Graham, but delighted that I'm joined by Car, who is also defrosting after a very cold afternoon at K Park.
Yeah, just about. My feet are still a wee bit numb, but it was worth it to see that performance.
Yeah, going into the game, we're optimistic, a good performance, and we started with Jenna Pfeiffer in goal as usual. Back three of Michelle Coulson, Tess Maydag and Captain Nick Dock. Midfield was held by Libby Bance and Chelsea Cornett, with Mia McCauley, Lizzie Arnott out wide, and Kirsty McLean was playing as the number 10 behind Rio Hardy and Sarah Ewens. Surprises in the starting lineup, Car?
Yeah, because we were a bit confused why so many regular starters like Rachel McLaughlin and Kirsty Howitt were missing, which we got no explanation for other than these players are playing here. So it was a bit weird that way, but nice to see Sarah Ewens back in the starting lineup. Obviously the subs bench was a bit younger as well, with a lot of the kind of younger players as well, and a few missing that we kind of expected to be there, but obviously notably Jane Ross was on the subs bench, which we're all very excited about, and thought, well, maybe we should get 5 minutes at the end and that'll be that, get her back into it. But obviously Joe had other plans for that. But I was happy with the team. I couldn't really complain with it. It was a very strong attacking team and enough to dispatch Motherwell, so there wasn't much more we could have really asked for.
I definitely thought it was a very strong team. Like you and like Laura and Graham with us, I was surprised no sign of Rachel McLaughlin, Rachel Rowe or Kirsty Howitt. So I hear through a grapevine and suspect that they've picked up niggles on international duty, and I believe Kirsty was spotted in a knee brace, so hopefully that's nothing more than a precaution and just waiting on a scan.
Yeah, it's just typical us, isn't it? We get Jane Ross and Lisa Martinez basically back to full fitness and everybody's fit and firing, and then all of a sudden we've got 3 more injuries out of nowhere. I mean, it seems a bit pointless when, Scotland didn't do anything, and I don't really know about Wales's situation with their international fixtures. I think it's disheartening sometimes when some of your best players get injured, but we've got such strength and depth, as Laura keeps saying, that we've got enough to keep us going until we get to, the winter break, and good time to get everybody recovered, hopefully, and back to full fitness.
Well, as you say, we've got a sort of mini break after next week's game against Hamilton. It's 3 weeks over Christmas. We've got 3 before the Inverness game in early January, so good chance just to make sure the players get some rest where possible. Get ready for a busy end to the season.
That's it. We just need everybody back and some options, because hopefully Kathy Hill's fairly close to coming back as well. It gives us more options rather than having to play Tess in that back line, and she can go back into the midfield where she's not bad in the centre back position. I will say that she did really good today, and she has been kind of growing into the role, but I'd like her to be further forward and get Michelle back into her normal position, or get Kathy back and have more options there.
Definitely. So straight into the game. Now we've talked about the team. And really, really fast start for us. Very early goal from Libby Bance.
Yeah, we came out firing today. I don't know what Joe had said to them, but her post-match post-match video, where she said I challenged them to go and start better than they have been, and they certainly did that today. They had a couple of shots before that one even happened, and it was such a well-taken goal. We were all a bit confused. We thought Chelsea had scored the goal, and even Rangers tweeted that Chelsea had scored the goal, but turns out it was Libby Bance. But watching it back, Mia, who did really well, I will say, on that wing today, she had a lot of joy down the right-hand side, kind of cut the ball back inside, and Chelsea's hit it, the goalie saved it, and then Libby's just come in and absolutely smashed it into the back of the net with no chance for the keeper to get near it. And again, don't fall in love with lone players, but I've certainly fallen in love with Libby Bance. She's such a good player tactically and technically, and she can score us a few goals, and it's exactly what we need from creative midfielders.
Absolutely. It wasn't entirely clear who'd scored, as you said. I had a feeling it wasn't Chelsea, but I couldn't quite see from where we were who it was had beaten her to the ball. But it's great to see Libby coming into the team and adding goals from that midfield.
Yeah, it's exactly what we need. She's another young player that can got bundles of energy to just give us that, and when we're attacking as well. But even defensively, like going back, she tracks back and does really well, tackles really well. So it's actually the kind of player we need, and it lets Kirsty McLean and those further forward down to go and flourish. So it's exactly what we need from them.
We didn't have to wait too long for a second goal, or sometimes we're a bit impatient and find it's a bit long to wait. But Sarah Ewan's getting the score sheet on to mark our start. So an excellent header from a typically brilliant Lizzie Arnott cross.
I mean, it's just a tremendous goal, isn't it? Lizzie had as much joy as Mia did, if not more, down the left-hand side and just crosses it in. And I think she'd been watching the men yesterday and saw Seema's goal and just thought, I want a bit of that, although it wasn't from a corner, but you know what I mean. And she just jumped and smashed it into the back of the net. We're ahead, and she had a really good game today. I will say she's turned out to be a really good player for us. If we can keep her fully fit, she's going to be an asset to us. If we need to rest the likes of Rio or Kirsty or now Jane Ross or give Laura a break or whatever, so it's really nice to have those options, and she's looking like she's going to be really good at scoring goals for us.
Oh, absolutely. I thought first half especially she had a fantastic game, showed she can offer plenty. And as we keep talking about each week, you know, the options we've got in the squad as we're getting the squad fitter is, I think we look by far the most dangerous team in the league.
Certainly, we're top heavy now almost. We've got so many strikers and forwards fit and ready to go now. It's going to be a difficult task for Joe to pick each week who's going to play.
One pick it's not been difficult for Joe to make is having Kirsty McLean in the midfield, and it was an excellent through ball, unsurprisingly from her, that led to a second goal for Sarah Ewans.
It was, and was it? Wasn't it a long ball over the top from Michelle? Are you thinking of?
No, I thought it was Kirsty that played the ball through. Or at least that's what Sky have credited and swayed my mind. But
I mean, maybe you're right. I don't know. I've got it down as a long ball over the top from Michelle, and the keeper kind of hesitated a little bit, and then she just slots it into the bottom corner. Or maybe my memory's wrong. I don't know.
It was a very convincing finish from Sarah anyway, and I'd paid a good bit of attention in the warm up with the strikers, and her finishing was looking really, really crisp, and seeing her start, she's looking by far the fittest she's looked since she joined us in the summer.
Yeah, she is, and going back and looking at her stats from before she was with us, that was her job. She scored a lot of goals for the teams that she was at prior to us. So obviously, if we keep her fit and get the best out of her, that's exactly what she's going to do for us, and that's what we need: people that are willing to take that risk and figure out where the ball needs to go and just put it where it needs to be. And it's exactly what we're going to need going into the latter stages of the season to keep our hold at the top of the table.
So 3-0 after 15 minutes, we really thought it was going to be a goal fest, but the game kind of broke down from there and became very scrappy. Anything in particular you thought sort of brought that on?
I don't know, because we had chances. Lizzie was having a lot of joy down that side. Sarah Ewans had another couple of chances. Mia had a chance. Nick, I don't know if we can call her as a chance. She kind of hit a really long ball as Nick does. It was within her wheelhouse, but it was a bit too far over. But we were creating more chances, and we thought this was going to end about 8 or 9-0, and then she kind of dried up a bit. But Michelle Motherwell defended really well. I will say they kind of figured out the shape and sat a bit deeper and kind of came out to stop us advancing forward quite a lot, which I think is what kind of stopped us getting as much joy as we did in the opening 15 minutes. So we just need to try and figure out how to break that down a bit easier, but that's been the story of us for the last couple of years, really.
Definitely, although I think a rare early barrage of goals like that helps make any game more comfortable, and we can just plod away and make sure we eventually grind teams down, and we've got the comfort of having the game was won, and the game was over after 15 minutes. So it took the pressure off, although it didn't necessarily make it the most enjoyable watch.
No, I think it does help when you're 3-0 up already. You can kind of relax a little bit, but I think Joe won't let them relax and will be challenging them to go and score more goals, because that's what we're going to need. We need to get the goal difference up a little bit, even though it shouldn't really matter come the end of the season on points wise, but it's nice to have that cushion if we need it. So it would be nice if we can go out and do that and keep scoring, but obviously teams are going to find a way to break us down. Players are going to get tired, it's freezing cold, the pitch is a bit wet. Things are going to stop that happening. We can't score every minute for the whole game. That's not how football works. So it's just about working in those phases and figuring out how to get past those kind of blocks, I suppose.
Without a great deal of event happening the rest of the first half, second half started more of the same. I mean, we saw some changes as the half went on.
You got them? Because I don't.
Yeah, I'll double check in the order they came on eventually.
I know Ailey Austin came on around 70-ish minutes. I don't think she was the first, was she? It was Brogan. Brogan came on first.
Yeah, Brogan and Ailey came on for Lizzie and Michelle.
That's right.
Just before the hour mark. And both impressed down the right-hand side.
Brogan had a lot of joy doing that, but she always does against Motherwell for some reason. I don't know if because her sister used to play for them, that she always kind of upped their game a bit playing them, and she's not there anymore, but she's kind of kept that on. But it's just what Brogan does, and it's nice to see that she's kind of working her way back up and she's managing to play like full halves of football now, and looks to be kind of back to her normal, taking players on and cutting back inside and doing what she does best. Confused to see Ailey Austin come on at centre back. That was a bit of an odd one, but I suppose with the limited numbers of defenders that we've got at the moment, I guess it makes sense. And she didn't do anything wrong. She got forward quite a lot as well, which was nice to see. She was playing a lot of really good passes, and again, just doing what she seems to be good at and just getting in everyone's way and making things difficult for the other players of the other team.
I think with the way we played and in terms of setup, that's going to be a position Ailey Austin's going to find most game time. Has been one of the options as one of the wider centre backs, and I thought the best thing you could say about Ailey Austin's performance was it was just a sign of how much she's developed into a first team player, that she came on and didn't look out of place.
She didn't. You get excited when you see her coming on now, because she's not an unknown. You know what she's capable of. So it's nice that you've got that excitement bubbling when you see her coming on. And she had a couple of chances today, half chances really, nothing too concrete. But again, she's not always going to score goals. But it's nice that she's getting into those areas and playing the passes that we need her to do to get our forwards doing their jobs. So she's a very exciting prospect, and another one that I hope that we can keep hold of.
Absolutely. So the next changes brought a lot of excitement from the fans. Not to miss out Jodie McLeod, who came on at the same time, but that her substitute appearance kind of went under a radar alongside a returning Jane Ross.
What did they say? 508 days since she got injured against Spartans in pre-season last season. It's just incredible how long it's been, because I think we've all just kind of got used to her being out injured. I mean, I didn't expect her to come on for the length that she did. I thought maybe she'd get 5 minutes, if that, and that would be a kind of, we'll work your way into it. But obviously Jane's the kind of player that if she's ready to go, she's ready to go, and she's probably been pestering Joe. No, I'm fine, put me on, like, don't worry about it, it's fine. And she showed within minutes of coming back on what she can do. And we were all a little bit worried that it was going to take her a bit of time to get back up to speed and do what Jane does. But clearly that's not going to be an issue, and she's just fully back to Jane Ross abilities and is going to have no issues with scoring goals for us and running about and hounding players with no bother at all.
Well, as you've already touched on it, I'll let you take us through Jane's first goal back.
I think it was a deflected pass from someone that just landed perfectly where she would have ever wanted the ball to land at her. And she kind of, not jumps, but it's not a volley. I can't really describe it. She just kind of hoofs it into the far corner. I'm awful at football terms. I don't know why anybody ever let me do a football podcast. I'll call it the far corner because I don't know what else to call it. But she just kind of hoofs it in and then does what she does. And obviously she's buzzing about it. But Jane's that humble that whenever she scored, she'd just be like, "Oh, quiet celebration," and then be away. But the other players weren't for having that. And everybody bar Jenna came storming over to her and we're all absolutely delighted for her. But that's what she does. She gets one touch of the ball and she scored for you. That's what Jane's capable of. And she'll always be in the right area that you need her to be. When a ball is going to end up in the box, she'll be there ready to take it on and score a goal. So it's delightful to see her back and get a goal in her first game back is exactly what she needs to get her confidence back up.
Oh, as you say, the reception she got from the players, not just when she scored, but you saw them standing applauding when she was coming on. Even, that was absolutely lovely to see. But as somebody that's not seen Jane Ross play before, and hearing all the talk about she's the striker that we need to finish these chances, it was quite appropriate that her first goal back was a typical centre forwards goal, just in the right place at the right time. The deflections came across. She's behind the last line of defence and she just scrambles it in. It might not win any Puskas awards, but that goal means the world. And we've got Jane Ross back in the team. She's scored and she's off and running.
Yeah, and it's exactly, I think, what we needed at that time because we were creating chances, but none of them were coming off. A few went over and kind of wide and just getting pushed away by the Motherwell defenders. So I think that goal kind of lit a fire again and got everybody kind of back into where we needed to be to score another goal and kind of finish off the game strong. But it's just exactly what we needed. And once I was kind of annoyed that she'd taken Lizzie off because Lizzie and Jane's partnership is unmatched. So I was kind of annoyed that they weren't both on at the same time. But we can't have it all. We win, keep a clean sheet. Jane Ross comes back and scores, and I'm asking for more. I'm a bit spoiled that way.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with asking for more, but if we continue getting players fit and available, then we're going to have so many combinations that there'll be more combinations than just Lizzie and Jane, and we'll see that combination as the season goes on, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting, especially with the fact that Jane never really played in a front two. It was always just kind of on her own, or Lizzie'd be on the wing helping her. So it'd be nice to see that she's got a partner up there to help her out as well. And they'll just turn into goal machines, and we'll just end up scoring 100 goals this season.
Speaking of strike partners, we got to the end of the game and we'd barely spoken about Rio Hardy, who's top goal scorer in the league, not just for us. And 90 minutes, there she is, back on the score sheet.
Yep, Megan Bell, who had quite a lot of joy when she came on. She didn't get too many chances herself, but she was doing really well down that channel, feeding balls in, and that's exactly what she did to get Rio her goal. She just cut in, fed it right to where Rio needed it to be, and Rio made no mistake of not smashing it, but slotting it home. I say slotted it home, and that's exactly what you need from your striking. I'm not good with words today. Striking player, your striker. Oh God, I need to go to my bed. But that's exactly what you need. You need somebody that's just going to be in there, and Megan to play it exactly where she needs it to be to just finish the game off. And nice for Rio to get a goal with everybody else kind of seeming to chip in today, and she didn't have a lot of joy. She had a few chances, but she just wasn't getting them off. So it was nice to see her getting another goal and just cementing that lead at the top with potentially Kirsty out injured. She's just going to keep climbing that ladder and she'll be away.
Definitely, you could see she was absolutely delighted to get on the score sheet when we'd scored a few goals. I think every striker would want the team to win first and foremost, but if the team scored goals, they went in on the act, and Rio, more often than not, is making sure she gets involved.
Yeah, it must be annoying for her having everyone around you scoring goals, and she's the one that normally scores all the goals, so it's nice that she actually got one for herself today. Right at the end to go and see off a nice week into next week's game.
So game did finish 5-0. Nothing else really to report from that game, but we know nobody called Rachel in the team. Who would you pick as your player of the match?
Do you know, it's a struggle. I had to, I had to sit and think about this because usually that's my top pick. It's one of the Rachels, but I think for me, it's difficult because obviously I want to pick Jane Ross. On for minutes, scores a goal, been out for so long. But I think for me, it's got to be Sarah Ewan. She looks so good, scored one incredible goal, another, did exactly what needed to be done. And I thought she had a really good game and looks like she's going to be a top player for us. So for me, it was Sarah Ewan.
Very well picked and argued for. I think probably maybe lean towards Kirsty McLean. I think she had a great game in the middle. Ahead of Libby and Chelsea, who were solid and done everything you needed to do. But I think Kirsty had a lot of joy and a lot of freedom playing that step further forward. I mean, maybe a wee bit less responsibility tracking back. So it's good to see the versatility she's shown.
Yeah, I mean, she did have a lot of joy against Motherwell players. They'll be seeing her coming at them in their sleep because she was doing all the tricks today. She was stepovers and spinning around and just taking the ball wherever it needed to be. She's just such a good player. And I think for me, that's what I just expect now. So it's not as special anymore as when she was just kind of coming through in that young talent that could do all these things. And now that's just what Kirsty does. So I think I need to remember that it's still very important and special what she can do for us.
I don't think we should ever underestimate how special it is getting to watch Kirsty McLean play and enjoy her playing for us.
Yeah, and hopefully she's here for a long time.
I would definitely hope so. But we'll go on to the loan review if you want to go through who did and didn't play.
I'll start with Kayla Jordan, who wasn't eligible because we were playing Motherwell, so that was a no-go. Megan Cunningham didn't play. They elected to start with their other keeper. Jenna Ferguson came on someone said 71st, someone said 72nd, but around their minutes in a 4-1 loss to Hearts. What have we got? Becca Taylor came on the 77th minute, and Mason started and played the full 90 minutes in a 1-1 draw with Aberdeen. They ended up getting a red card late into the game, so it seems like there was a lot of drama there, but Hamilton's Twitter updates aren't great, so it's very difficult to find any information about that. Lucy Inman finally played, got a full game, and they won 1-0, putting them, 10 points clear at the top of that table? Looking pretty certain to come up now next season, so that'll be interesting.
They're 10 points clear after 12 games played, so no, it looks like a very, very good season for Queen's Park.
It's just incredible, isn't it? It's mental. Summer Laird got 78 minutes. Well, she came on in the 78th minute as a sub. They lost 7-0 to Celtic, so that's not a great indication of that, but it's a part-time team against a full-time team who are sitting second at the moment, only 1 point behind, so you can't really read too much into that.
No, I wouldn't think you could read too much into that, and we've talked pretty regularly about Summer not getting any minutes, so hopefully that's a sign that she might move into the team. Possibly with a change of manager at Spartans, we might see Summer play a wee bit more.
Yeah, potentially. You never know what the new manager might, formation-wise and the way they want to play. So it could be a chance for her to get more minutes and kind of stake her claim, which would be good for us, just for all of them to get more game time. But obviously, if they're playing against us, that can't happen. But I will say Motherwell had a couple of our ex-players in their team who I recognised from last season and a couple of seasons ago. And I will say they look like they've improved massively. So I think it is good when players that were at us and maybe aren't going to get as much game time because we have top talent get to go to other teams in the league and do progress and do further themselves in their game. So that was nice to see. It was also nice to see us win.
That's the main thing. But as you say, it's good to see players who have left us continue to develop and make teams around the league better. It's great to see the standard evolving and rising over time.
Yeah, it's exactly what we want, isn't it? We want all the teams to be competitive and make it a bit more exciting than it has been. And I think in time that'll come, but it's going to take a wee while for other teams to kind of catch up money-wise, but also just time and training facilities and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get there eventually. But for the moment, we're top of the league, and that's all that matters.
Listen, that's what matters. That's the bread and butter for us. You know, as long as we finish the season at the top, you know, we can look on and just view and comfort the battles elsewhere in the league. But as we go into the score predictor, the full update's no quite finished, but it'll be on the Facebook group by the time anybody gets to this point in the podcast. So a couple of results that threw people. You've mentioned Hamilton getting a point against Aberdeen, which could be massive for them at the bottom. Montrose got a last-minute winner against Dundee United, scored by one of the key players that they took from Dundee United in the summer. So again, that result could have a bearing on how things go at the bottom of the league. But you've got to wonder at the Spartans if you're maybe going to suffer with Debbie McCulloch moving on.
Yeah, which is an interesting one because she's been there for so long and seems to be kind of a staple of the club. But I think she's staying at the club and working for the charity foundation, which is nice that she's staying involved. But hopefully not too much upheaval for Spartans, because they're a team I really like. I think they're really well run in terms of everything around the club. So hopefully they can continue to do well and get kind of a bit higher up the table. But it's very interesting. I was very surprised with some of the results today. I got a couple right, but I definitely didn't get all of them and did not expect some of those results today, especially the Dundee United one. Did not see Montrose beating them, but as you say, they ravaged their squad in the summer and took their best players, so that's what happens.
Well, despite your claims that you didn't see some of their results coming, 21 points on the score predictor this week leaves you top of this week's round, and I'm pretty sure that'll be top of the leaderboard. One more week to play this year.
We can thank Rio Hardy for that, because I'd actually forgotten what I'd predicted, and I was just so caught up in the moment of Jane scoring that I'd turned to you guys and said, I think it would be quite fitting if the game ended with only Jane scoring in the second half. And then Graham very quickly reminded me that I'd predicted 5-0, and then not long after that Rio scored. So I was very, very happy in that moment that Rio did that and we got the 5-0. So
it's amazing to think that anything would make you even happier at seeing a Rangers player score, but anything that makes it better is even better. It's brilliant. You might even say it's superb.
It's very superb, which I haven't actually said today, and I had written down in my notes that Sarah Ewan's goal was superb, so we'll just throw that in there to keep the catchphrase alive.
So unless there's much else you've got to talk about, we'll probably wrap it up there because it's so quite late on a Sunday night.
Yeah, I think the only thing is the bus that we've organised for the game in January to Aberdeen. Laura's put I say Laura, the group have put a deadline of the 20th of December to get it all paid for, because we've got a few people straggling behind have said that they want it and then haven't paid yet. So we're just trying to get that nailed down, because if it's not paid for by the 20th of December, it looks like it might not run at all. So just to try to light a fire under some people and get people to pay for it so that it can happen, because something we really want to do is be able to organise a supporters group bus to longer away games, but we can't pay for everything ourselves. It's quite a lot of money, so we need to get people paying for that. But also we have scarves, which I've now eventually hung up on my wall and replaced the other one. Badges, autograph books, hats. I think that's everything, isn't it? That's all that we've got to offer just now on the website if people want to.
Yeah, I think so. Badges, scarves, hats, autograph books. Yeah, I think
that's
everything.
We've got a deal on at the moment for a scarf and hat set just in time for Christmas. So if people are wanting to get folk that for Christmas, I'd maybe get in ordering it now, just because it's coming up for the festive postage period and all that kind of stuff. So for things to arrive in time, if people are potentially looking at that, I'd maybe get in ordering soon. Obviously things will be available at the game next week as well if people want to come and collect them from us as well.
And probably on that note, we'll just have a quick look at next week's game, and obviously the day before a game, anybody going to the open training session, let's hope that's a great day and it's something the club will repeat.
Yeah, hopefully it looks like they put a full day on for it as well. There's going to be stuff in New Edmonton House, a lot of kind of family-based stuff with entertainment and stuff for the kids before they head off to the training centre, and then obviously the training session. Hopefully it'll be a full event like they do for the men with, guest speakers and explaining what's going on and all that kind of stuff, and the kids being able to get stuff signed and have a good time watching the players, and then go into the game the next day and hopefully remain top going into that three-week break.
Quick predictions for Hamilton next Sunday then, last game of the year.
I'll go conservative. I'll say 7-0.
I think we'll go out with a bang. I think we'll beat Hamilton and beat them quite handsomely. I think we might even hit double figures.
Well, I hope you're right. I could see it, to be fair. They have looked like they're struggling a little bit, and obviously it's at Broadwood, so we've got our pitch, we know the surface. It's not that different to Hamilton surface other than being a little bit better, but the width of it and everything helps our team, so hopefully you're right, and no more injuries, everybody back fit and healthy coming into the new year, and we start off with a bang travelling up to Inverness, which is going to be a fun drive, but I'm sure we'll make it very exciting and entertaining.
I'm sure we'll do our best, but for anybody tuning in, like, share and subscribe if you enjoy it, and feel free to come say hello at next week's game. And if we don't see any of you, have a nice Christmas.
And a happy New Year.
Thanks to Car for joining me, and thanks to everybody who's watching and listening on any media that you choose to get your podcasts.
Thanks, Alan.